Welcome. Trusting God you're doing great. Today, we want to look at the fundamentals of Microsoft Excel. And so without wasting time, I'll click on the Microsoft Excel icon on the start bar and then I launch it. So here is the Microsoft Excel welcome screen. In the welcome screens, I have options to start my project from a blank workbook or a billing statement or any of the standard templates as the case may be. I also have options here to start my work from the recently used document. Aside from that, I have options here to open and then browse any of the work that I've done and then choose it from any of the folder or from any location and then start. So without wasting time, let us start our work for today from the blank workbook. Here is the Microsoft Excel environment. There are different sections that make up the environment. First, we have the program title bar. This bar houses the name of the application, in this case being Excel, as well as the document name, here being Book 1. The next is the menu bar or tabs. This menu bar or tabs houses menus that contains commands that enables you to carry out specific tasks depending on what you want to achieve. For instance, in the case of the home menus, we have options for you to customize or edit your font. We have options for you to align text, and we have options for you to characterize numbers and so on. In our subsequent lesson, we shall take each of these in details. What you notice that in each of these group, you have options also here. If you click this, wider options are in here for you to make necessary adjustments or for you to choose from depending on what you want to achieve during the course of your design. Aside from that, we also have the insert menu. This pertains to things that you bring in or insert into the project. We have options as pictures, shapes, and charts as the case may be. We have the page layout menu. This centers on commands pertaining to the pages. We have options for formulas and data and so on. Aside from that, we also have the quick access toolbar. These sections houses commands that are frequently used by the user of the applications. For instance, if I check open, each time I want to click on the open icon or initiate the open command, I would have to come to the file menu to click on open. I will simply click the open and that will take effect. Aside from that, you could enable or disable. In other words, you could check and uncheck options that you want to have on your quick access toolbar. Aside from that, you can point to any icon, right click, and then you have options to add such an icon to the quick access toolbar. Aside from that, you could also remove such an icon by pointing to it here, right click, and then you choose the option remove from the quick access toolbar. The next section we want to look at is the status bar. The status bar, as the name implies, displays the status of your project or a selected portion of your work. For instance, here if I select this cell and the contents of this range of cell, it will tell me the count. Counts meaning I've selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells, and then the average of that cell is being displayed. Looking at the numerical values here, the average of it, as well as the summation of the figures, the summations of the cells values so far. Aside from that, you could also right click on the status bars to customize your status bar setting, meaning you could choose to allow the average to display or to remove the average. You could choose to remove the count and then as well as the page number as well. So if I go back to that, you see the count is no more displayed. the average value of the selected portions or the range of cells is no more on display. I can still right click on the status bar, go back, and then check whatever I want. In other words, enable whatever I want that it displays on my status bar. Another important feature of the status bar is the zoom slider. This allows you to zoom in or zoom out of your worksheet. Aside from that, you can hold down the control key on your keyboard and screw up to zoom in, and as well as screw down to zoom out. You can right click on the status bar to enable or disable your zoom slider. Aside from that, you can come to the view tab and then use the different workbook views styles. We have the normal view, which is always the default view. We have the break view, and as well as the page layout view, which will arrange your works per printing preview page. Aside from that, those commands are also here on the status bar. Be reminded that Microsoft Excel is an electronic spreadsheet that allows you to organize your data into rows and columns. This implies that each worksheet contains columns and rows. The columns are lettered A, B, C, down to Z and continues alphabetically, while the rows are numbered numerically, that is from 1 down to 1 million plus. When a cell is selected, in other words, a cell is an intersection of a row and a column. So where the row coordinate intersect with a column coordinate, that produces a cell. When a cell is selected, the name of that cell appears on the name box. In the case of where I select 180 here, this cell can be read as B4. That is to say, cell B4. You take first the alphabet of the column and then second by the numerical value of its row, meaning this cell is cell B3. This could be said to be cell C8. When a cell is selected, the name appears on the name box, but the contents of that cell appears on this bar called the formula bar. The formula bar contains the formula in which a specific cell is made up. To navigate in an Excel worksheet, when you select a specific cell, you can use the arrow key on your keyboard to move one cell to the right, or one cell to the left, or one cell up, or one cell down, depending on where you want to go. Aside from that, you can press the tab key on your keyboard. This will move one cell to the right. But if you press shift key and hold down while tapping the tab key or clicking the tab key, it will move one cell each to the left. Aside from that, if you press the enter key, it will move to the next cell below. But if you press shift and hold down while punching the enter key on your keyboard, it will move one cell upward. Aside from that option, if you press the F key, the function F5 on your keyboard, it will give you a reference cell point wherein you could reference a cell, say cell E5, and then press OK. That will automatically take you to cell E5. In other words, E5 will be selected.